So we recently just installed the VoSwitch switch panel system in our Jeep Wrangler, and I'll list that video below in the description so you guys can check out how to install one if you want one for your Jeep. So in this video, we're gonna show you how to hook up lighting to the VoSwitch switch system. I have a pair of Diode Dynamics SS3s. I do have the wiring harness here. It is cut and ready for the factory aux switches, so I gotta see if that's gonna run because it's on a total opposite side of the Jeep now. I did buy extra wires and connectors and whatnot just in case it doesn't work out, so we're prepared. And to mount the lights up on the windshield, we use the Motobilt windshield mounts. I'll list those below too, so if you guys need those for your Jeep. All right, so let's head out to the garage and get these installed. So with this windshield bolt, I know not everybody's gonna have the same mount, but if you do have one that attaches up here and you have your T50, it's not gonna fit like you want it to because there's a layer of paint and clear coat on there. So when you get to this point, put your T50 there and just kind of push it into place until it stops. And then you can loosen it. It's easy as that. So at this point, we're gonna take these side panels off. So these 4 bolts right here with your T40 bit. I'm gonna do that on both sides. We'll flip the hood up and then we're gonna route the wire. So you're gonna pop off your panel on the driver's side. You're gonna see this plug. Either you're gonna have a plug in it or nothing on it like we do. You're gonna ask yourself, what the hell is this for? You're gonna go search, and it just means you don't have adaptive cruise. That's the plug for the adaptive cruise. I took the antenna off so it's easier to slide this panel straight back off. So there's gonna be a little tension here, so you just have to pull straight back. It's just held in by a couple tabs. Like I said before, mine was pre-wired on the last Jeep for the aux switches that were on that side. I just swapped the wires around. Have this just running up to right here. You can pull this piece up, it's just foam. You can tuck everything nicely and put it back into place. Then run the wire across and do the same on the other side. And we're gonna run this across. Once again, lift up the foam, tuck the wire, and run it up the cowl right there. So on the wiring end, on our ground, we already had it mounted for a ground bolt over there. So we're just gonna run it to this spot right here and ground on this one. And we're gonna take our power cable, we're gonna run it underneath and out. And then we're gonna open this up, slide one of these out, and then we'll pop it right in place to switch number 1 right there. So let's run it right in. Okay, so don't jump ahead and put the ends on right away. You can't put the end on and then push it through. So I'll show you what you need to do. And then here, you just pull one out, probably the top one. And then, so if you have the ends on it, you won't be able to push it through. It's just a hole. So you have to feed the power wire through and then put your end on and then mount it to your switch number 1. All right, I'm gonna be real with you. I messed up installing. I forgot to install this piece after wiring everything up, and you can't just slide it back on. You have to clip it and redo the whole thing. So don't make that mistake. Once you get your wire ran through, put that back on. Slide that piece back on. That way everything will mount back up when you're done. So I'm gonna get this rewired now. Slide our heat shrink on. I'm gonna trim up the ground wire, just make it a little bit shorter so we don't have so much play in it. We're gonna take out the bolt right here on the fender so we can ground our wire. So the wiring is done. Now we gotta get the light mounts and lights mounted, and plug the lights in, and we should be done. We're gonna piece this all back together and get the lights mounted up. Start with the windshield cowl. It just slides back into place. Get your wires out. All right, so we have grabbed our Motobilt windshield mount, a little spacer. So replacing that bolt right here. So they provide a little spacer. And then we mount it here. And then we take that original windshield bolt and mount it back in. If you are using this mount or something really similar, don't tighten that windshield bolt down too tight just yet, just because you gotta get that one into place and you don't want it to affect it. Now we're gonna tighten this piece up. All right, grabbed our light. We're gonna throw it on the mount and get it all bolted up and plugged in. We turned on the lights, they weren't working. The cause was this bolt here. It wasn't grounding the wire for some reason. So I took this 10mm bolt out and ran the ground to that, and it works perfect. All right, so we're just wrapping up, and we're just gonna put the bolts back in for the windshield cowl here. If you see, this is for the top ones. They do look different than the side ones, so they have a fatter end on them. And with my mounts, we only put one back in because we replaced the other one with the provided bolt from Motobilt. So on the sides, this is plastic, so you don't want to over tighten, so be careful when you're tightening it back up. And then it's just these tiny little bolts here, T40s. All right guys, so we got the lights installed. A pretty simple install, just a couple wires. It runs right to the box and right to a ground, cleans up all that wiring under the hood. I'll show you what it looks like inside also, so you can see what the switch panel looks like when it's on. If you guys need lights, mounting brackets, or the VoSwitch itself, I'll link it all in the description below. All right, so this is what it looks like turning the lights on with the new switch panel. Hit the power button, and then we have it wired up to the first switch, so you just hit this. Lights are on. Remember to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you in the next one.